services, call your family because you won't have enough time. Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, it's all about me buying the world's most venomous snake. But before we get to that venomous snake, I want to show you the world's longest venomous snake. This right here is a 12-foot long female Malaysian king cobra. Now, at the end of the video, we're gonna unbox that bad boy, but right now, we're gonna take out the king cobra, we're gonna spot clean a little bit of poop, we're gonna deal with a few other venomous snakes, and then we're gonna move on to the world's most venomous snake that I purchased, which is a crazy venomous snake, and it's also a huge venomous snake. So don't go anywhere, let's clean this guy, do a couple things, we'll see you when we unbox that. Is a king cobra I got from my good buddy Tyler Nolan. We went ahead and did an awesome trade, a croc monitor for a king cobra. So Tyler's snake room is a little bit smaller than mine, and he already had a king cobra. So he was like, Stone, let's go ahead, let's do that trade. And I'm like, awesome. I've always wanted a Malaysian king cobra, and I think Shatid was the perfect fit. Now, people know Shatid for being a crazy king cobra, and the truth of the matter is she did calm down a little bit. But I'll tell you what, the bigger she gets, the kind of more aggressive she's been getting. So lately, Shatid has just been on one. I mean, she's just been acting like a little psycho. Right now, she's not bad. She has her days. As you can see, she's got a fresh shell on her, so she's got some beautiful skin. This right here is the king cobra. The king cobras have the biggest venom yield out of any venomous snake. They're also the longest venomous snake, and they're known to kill a bull elephant with one bite. We just upgraded her into her new 8-foot enclosure, and let me tell you what, she absolutely loves it. The only downfall is king cobras poop everywhere, so it's not like she's just pooping in one spot. She's pooping on the entire 8-foot cage, and I'll tell you what, we used about a whole bag of bedding just for this cage. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna clean it, and we're gonna put her back. Oh, it's nice to have an extra cage to put this king cobra in. Before, I was actually putting her in a tub as a holding area, but this cage is so much nicer. I mean, look at that, typical Malaysian color, crazy. And if you look at the tip of her tail, I want you to look at this, Riley. See those two white scales? No, that is not crypto. She has had these scales since she was a baby king cobra. So she actually has two white scales, hoping it's het tied, but you never know. Probably not, although it is something really cool about this king cobra. Oh, and she actually has a little bit of stuck shed on her tail. See if we can pull it off. A little bit of stuck shed. This happens a lot with king cobras, either the tip of their tail or an eye cap. For her, it's not really eye caps, it's just the tip of her tail. So if we can't get the rest of it off now, which I think we're gonna get off, we'll give her a soak. In this video, we have the world's most venomous snake, we have the longest venomous snake, and this right here is the smallest rattlesnake in the entire world. So this right here is a Pygmy rattlesnake, and this is a unique one because she's striped. So this right here is one of Florida's native venomous snakes. Now, a pretty harmless venomous snake in terms of venomous snakes. There's no recorded deaths from a Pygmy rattlesnake. Most of the time, if you're bitten, all you gotta worry about is the tip of your finger rotting off or whatever piece of flesh they bit. Just a little finger, nothing compared to your life. But if you look at her rattle, she actually has no rattle right now. She's got one little button, but this Pygmy rattlesnake just lost her rattle, and unfortunately we cleaned her enclosure and we dumped the bedding away. So we lost that little Pygmy rattlesnake rattle, but that's okay because I got a couple others. But now if you know Pygmy rattlesnakes, you know they're one of the hardest venomous snakes to handle. They're so small and they never stay on the hook. That's why I'm thinking about adding some rubber to these hooks. That way when I handle these snakes that like to slip away, like the Cape Coral Cobra and the Pygmy rattlesnake, it gives them more grip to stay on. But this girl is actually for sale, so if you live somewhere where you're allowed to keep venomous snakes and you have your proper permits, licenses, and experience, this could be a snake that you could have in your collection, which is a super rare venomous snake. You never see these venomous snakes anymore. She's European, captive born and bred, so this right here is a quality Pygmy rattlesnake. So if you're looking to get into striped Pygmy rattlesnakes, this male will be a perfect fit for you. And you really gotta be super gentle. You can see her already slipping off the hook. Got her, she's freaking out already, That's okay. Now this is a venomous snake to where if you keep her, you wanna keep her down low. You don't wanna keep her in a cage up here because you're gonna go to hook her, she's gonna fall, break her ribs, break her spine. So definitely a venomous snake you want to keep down low. She just comes right off the hook. Like, there is no grip with a Pygmy rattlesnake. It's not that there's no grip, it's that they don't like staying on the hook. But this right here is an adult rattlesnake. He's not going to get any bigger. This is as big as they get. The females will get a tad bit larger, but this is it. The world's smallest rattlesnake, the Pygmy rattlesnake. In my opinion, one of the coolest. But we're focusing just on bigger display animals. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna let this Pygmy rattlesnake go, and I'll be picky about her new home because I want her to go to someone special and someone who knows what they're doing. I'll show you guys another trick. If you got a snake that just doesn't want to stay on the hook like this Pygmy rattlesnake, you can actually take something flat, wait for her to slither onto it. That way she feels more comfortable, and that is how you can transport her. So we're gonna put it right in here. See how much easier that was than trying to balance her on a little hook? Now we're gonna handle a snake that we rarely ever handle, my black-headed Bushmaster. Now the reason I don't handle this guy too often is because he's a super rare, super expensive, super elusive snake. So to not induce stress, I don't handle this guy as much. But one thing you wanna do with black-headed Bushmasters when they're shedding is soak them, because these animals are from Costa Rica. They're from a high humidity climate, and that's how they shed so easily, because where they're from, they have high humidity, helps them shed. Now here in captivity, it's hard to match that humidity. So what we'll do, right before they're about to shed, like he is right now, we'll go ahead, we'll soak them in some water. Even if it's a week, 2 weeks before they shed, you wanna soak them a couple times. That way you're not dealing with a black-headed Bushmaster with stuck shed and a stuck eye cap, because then you go to pin them and grab them, and it's super, super dangerous. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give him a soak. Now he's probably, I don't know, maybe a week, 2 weeks out from shedding. I can tell because he's got that super cloudy look to his skin, so he's not quite there yet. But what we don't want to do is we want to soak him probably 2 or 3 times. But I really want you guys to have a go at this snake, because he is, man, he's one of my most beautiful snakes, and we just don't handle him that much. So we don't want to handle him without a reason, but now that we have a reason, this is a good time to pull out the black-headed Bushmaster and show you guys. Now you see we keep him on a Rep the Chip. Now Rep the Chip you can spray down and it holds humidity really nice, so that's why we keep him on that. But look at that black-headed Bushmaster. He definitely has gotten a little bit bigger. He's probably had 7 or 8 meals in him since we got him, and he's growing nicely. But if you look at him, you might think he's skinny because he has a super high ridge to his back. But same with the Taipan rattlesnake, that's just how these snakes are built. They're built with a high ridge. Be careful, this is one of the fastest striking snakes in the entire world. Nothing to play with. They're a heat-seeking missile, so they pick up on heat and thermal sense. So they can basically see an image of your body. It's glowing bright red to these guys. For a nice little soak, there's not too much water in there, but there's just enough to create high humidity and basically soak into his skin. So we're gonna put this guy in here for about 10 minutes. We'll spray down his Rep the Chip and we'll put him right back. Now this is a scary snake. This snake looks like he's about to pull a weapon on you and like rob you, so. Honestly, I'm afraid to even tail this guy. But let's just put him right back. Not a snake you wanna cause too much stress to, especially a high-end snake like this. I mean, these snakes run anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000. So, and a unique thing about this snake is they will eat and eat and eat week after week, and they won't poop. But when they poop, it's a giant poop. It's like a dog took a poop. So this guy hasn't pooped in like 4 weeks, and I'm not really looking forward to when he does. All right, guys, the next snake we're gonna take a look at is my little monocled cobra that Chandler gave me. And this thing is just a complete psychopath. He is a monocled cobra that strikes with his mouth open, so he is no joke. And he had a little bit of stuck shed. We were gonna soak him, but it looks like he just got that shed off. This is right on his back. So let's go ahead, let's get that stuck shed out and take him out and do a little health checkup, see how he's doing. Look at that, right off his back. That's what I like. When I get a cobra, when I get a snake, I want something challenging. I want something that's gonna perform like they would perform in the wild. So a snake like this is exactly what I want. And it's just an awesome gift from my good buddy Chandler. So his monocled cobra, Big Bertha, is the one who produced this. She's a super famous snake, and a lot of people would love to have a cobra like this. Look at that, flying back. You gotta have quick reflexes if you want to deal with a monocled cobra. Oh. And this snake is actually het albino. Put him on the ground. Man, he just growing like a weed. Look at that. He strikes with his mouth open. I want you guys to see how this snake strikes. An awesome performing cobra. I mean, if you were a flute player and you wanted a snake that would perform, this is the kind of cobra you're going to use. Something that sits there, hoods up well. Want to say hi to the king cobra? Ooh, he just musked all over the floor. Now that's another defense mechanism. When a snake can't get away, they can't bite you, they'll go ahead and they'll poop on you. Look at the king cobra, looking at him. Look at that little meal. All right, let's not step in poop. Let's put this guy back. Man, that is gross. I'd rather him try to bite me than poop on the floor. All right, guys, the moment you've been waiting for is here. This right here is the coastal taipan. So this is the snake that we imported in our last video. This is what I got. Now, there's about 3 different species of taipan. This right here is the coastal. So the most venomous snake in the world is the inland taipan. The second, I believe, is the brown snake. The third is the coastal Taipan. So this guy, I can already tell, is a psycho. So last thing I want to do is take this snake out in flip-flops and have it corner my camera girl Riley, aka my girlfriend, in the side of this room. So what we're going to do, we already took off the duct tape because we don't want this snake to get the duct tape stuck on his skin, because then it's just going to be a nightmare for me. Then I got to catch a snake, rip off the duct tape. So we took all the duct tape off. If you look over here, he can push this lid up right now. So we're gonna cut both these zip ties, and instead of me pulling him out and handling him, we're gonna put him right in the cage. So I'm gonna place this container in the cage. I'm gonna flip the lid with the snake hook so you guys can get a better look at him. But I wanna tell you a little bit about this coastal Taipan before I do that. So this snake right here, like I said, third most venomous snake in the entire world. This is actually the snake they use to make the inland Taipan anti-venom. So how you make anti-venom is basically you inject venom into a horse, the horse creates antibodies over time, and then you extract those antibodies and you make anti-venom. So they actually tried doing that with the inland Taipan, but the inland Taipan was so venomous, it just kept killing the horses. So what they do is they actually use the coastal Taipan's venom, inject it into the horse, and that's how they make the anti-venom for the inland Taipan. They're found on the coast of Australia. They're actually known as the cane field killers because the guys who work in the cane fields, the farmers, when they get bit by these guys, they drop dead like flies. So that just shows you how venomous this snake is. Now, Steve Irwin actually has a famous quote, and it's, if you get bit by a Taipan, don't call emergency services, call your family because you won't have enough time. So it's almost a certain death if you get bit by one of these snakes and don't have anti-venom on hand. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clip these, throw him in, that way we can all get a better look on this snake. But look at this. This is a male and he's probably around 6 feet long. Coastal Taipans are notorious for having that bone white face and that red on their back. Now, not all coastal Taipans have the color that this one has, and that's the reason I got him. So this snake is captive born and bred in Europe from a famous reptile keeper. So this guy right here is a quality animal. We don't have to quarantine him because we know exactly where he came from, and we're not worried about anything like that. So the gentleman who actually had this snake is getting out of venomous snakes, and that is how I was able to acquire this guy. But this by far is the most venomous snake in this snake room and is also the world's third most venomous snake. So it is no joke. If I get bit by this snake, the chances of me dying are very, very high. So what we're gonna do, we got 2 new cages added to the collection. We're gonna throw him in a 4-footer for right now, but this guy is actually gonna get upgraded into a 5-foot cage here shortly. So right now we're keeping it simple. We're gonna put him on aspen because this snake doesn't require a lot of humidity. It's from a very dry habitat. So we're gonna basically put him on aspen. He's got a hide, he's got a water bowl. That's it for now. Now in the future, we'll add a background and we'll add some plants and stuff like that for him to climb on. But right now, we just wanna keep a close eye on him, make sure he's all right. Let's go ahead and let's do the dang thing. So we gotta be very careful because you can see these holes on the outside of this box. That is one of the most common ways for snake keepers to get bit. They're very lackadaisical. They'll put their finger on top of a hole, the snake will strike, and it'll actually bite you straight through the box or a bag. So I'm gonna avoid the holes, apply some pressure, and try to cut this zip tie off. He might not let us put him in there. He might just pop the lid as soon as I let go. There will be no free handling of this snake, even very rarely tailing of the snake. If we can, we're gonna use 2 hooks. We're gonna take every safety measure we can to make sure we never take a bite from a coastal Taipan. If you guys watch our next video, we're actually gonna take this guy out and we're gonna handle him. Once he moves his head away from my hand, that's when I'll let go. I haven't even handled this snake and I'm shaking just because I know the potential of harm this snake can cause. Now, even if you get bit by a coastal Taipan and survive, there's numerous side effects you can be left with for the rest of your life. I mean, all kinds of neurological defects. Get an up-close shot of that orange back. I mean, even the camera does no justice, but this snake is just so beautiful. I mean, man. Look at the belly on this coastal Taipan. Even the belly of this snake is gorgeous. Has that super dark rustic orange. So if you guys have a good name for this coastal Taipan, comment it down below. I'm thinking something Australian, maybe Contarius. Comment below and try to give us a good name for this coastal Taipan. He's absolutely perfect. He's got no scars. I love these Taipans because just like the inland Taipan, they're extremely venomous, but they're a lot more beautiful to look at. So everything in my room is all display animal. So I was thinking, should I get an inland Taipan? Should I get a coastal? If you look at the coastals, I mean, look at that bone white face with the red eyes. They're so beautiful. There's orange on the back. They're really something to appreciate, look at, and admire. I mean, an inland taipan is really cool too because we know how venomous they are, but when it comes to looks, the coastal taipan is so much more better. He's had a long journey, so we really want him to relax. We really want him to find that water bowl, hydrate, really just relax. He's definitely been through a lot of stress. My friend who boxed him up said it was a big pain in the butt boxing up this big snake. Because look, that's a 6 foot long snake, and you got to put it in this little container, and it's the world's 3rd most venomous snake. So that's a super dangerous job. So props to them for boxing up that guy. Definitely something I would not want to do. But look, snake wants nothing to do with me. He's not biting. He's not striking at the glass. It actually doesn't seem too bad. I kind of wish we took him out and, you know, put him around my neck and did something, but that right there is the coastal taipan. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.